All of you must remember the spirit binding spell. Yes, today we bring you the second part of Atma Bonding. Brother, let's go to the fast part. When did it go? Voyeurs are not losing their way by looking. Subscribe now and ring the bell to stay updated with everyone. At first, Mommy didn't understand why that woman wanted the baby in Mommy's lap. It didn't seem to caress. Then what did this dwarf woman want? Mommy didn't understand that day, but now she understands what a curse came down after that night. Even after talking about my marriage for a long time in my life, the marriage was breaking up. It even got engaged once. A few days before the wedding, the water of the boiled tea burnt my finger, where the wedding ring was taut. Today you hear the truth again. This is how it comes inside my mirror every day. Good and under good. I am also well, and I am under good. I will go to a new event. I am reading it as it is written. As soon as the window glass of the car was lowered, a rotten smell came. The woman put her head through the window, put it inside. Her golden hair touched her father's shoulders. He pointed at me with his long bones, and pointed at Abu and said, "Now it's time to take Mahanur. Keep him ready, Bahad." His voice was broken and sounded like it was coming from far away. "Who is that golden-haired dwarf woman?" "My name is Mahanur. It would not be wrong if I say that I was possessed by a genie's shadow, or I was possessed even before I was born. The family where my mother came as a wife after marriage was not a very big family. My grandfather had 3 sons. The 2 upper floors of the grandmother's house after the elder 2 sons got married. They were kind of separated by giving the 2 older sons. Accordingly, the ground floor of this 3-story house was shared by my father and mother, where my grandmother lived with my mother. My father was one of those old-fashioned men, those who did not want to understand any problem or complexity of the world until the water rolled over their heads. Our grandmother tied my father in a kind of hug, with extra care and love since childhood. Dadi made Abu completely indifferent to the harsh reality and harshness in life. It made Abu not move a single hair beyond the words of his mother. Grandmother's nature was such that she preferred to handle outside chores in her own hands. He was never happy with other people's shopping or other people's preferences, so Dadi used to take Amu wherever she went. This incident started many years ago. One day our grandmother decided to dye something from the market. As you think, so do you. He left for the market with his mother. The distance from grandmother's house to the market was not much. It can also be said that it was very close. No, usually one would expect to go in a rickshaw, but the problem is that there was terrible picketing and strike in the city that day. There were no carriages, horses, or rickshaws plying on the road, so grandmother and mother were forced to go to the market on foot. It was a very hot day. The intense heat of the sun made him walk to the market and return after finishing work. All things considered, the condition of both was very bad. On the way back, both of them were suffering from heat and thirst. Then Dadi and Amu decided to get some milk, soda, or something cold from a roadside shop. They stopped in front of a shop that had a huge pile of garbage right next to it. The stench of dirt was overwhelming, but they didn't pay much attention because they were thirsty. My mother was newly married and she used to use perfume all the time. There was always the smell of expensive perfumes and perfumes. While they were resting in front of that shop and drinking cold water, the Maghrib call to prayer began. All around the daylight was extinguished, and it was slowly covered in darkness. The shopkeeper saw that the 2 women were sweating profusely in the heat, so he kindly tied 2 plastic chairs in front of the shop. As Amu and Dadi had been walking for a long time, they sat down on that chair with gratitude. After drinking water, the shopkeeper asked them to find a shortcut to their home. He said, "Don't go around the main road, and go through this lane. Then you will reach home very soon." The shortcut that the shopkeeper showed was actually a narrow and very steep one. Dirty street. Both sides of the street were littered with dirt and debris, but daughter thought of prayer. He wanted to return home early, fearing that the Maghrib prayer would be cancelled. So he started walking on the shortcut shown by the shopkeeper. Amma said that at that time she was walking in that smelly, dirty lane, holding the veil over her nose. The alley was quite dark and deserted. All of a sudden, Amma felt as if someone slapped her on the back. The blow was so heavy and intense that Amu was startled. He was very scared, because the street was completely quiet at that moment. There were no people around. As soon as the heavy hand touched her back, Amma's body started to break out in cold sweat. A cold stream of fear ran down his shiva. But surprisingly, no one was seen there. No people, no animals, nothing. Only darkness and silence. Meanwhile, the grandmother went quite a bit further. Amu saves dirt and garbage as fast as possible. He was trying to reach his grandmother. Grandmother. It was as if he was moving forward at the same speed. Amu felt as if this call did not want to end. The dirty environment of the street, the darkness of the evening, and the touch of that invisible hand on the back were all making Amma suffocating. Mother was regretting then. Why did they come through this strange lane after hearing about that shopkeeper? Finally, the lane ended. Grandmother was walking fast, and Mom was running behind him. Mom tried several times to call Grandma to stand up or walk slowly, but a strange one. Because of this, no sound came out of my mother's throat. It seemed as if someone was holding his throat. After praying to Allah with great difficulty, the road finally ended, and whenever they entered the lane of their house, Amu felt as if the great distance between her and grandmother had suddenly reduced. But while crossing the lane, it seemed like Grandma was going miles away. Daddy and Amu reached the gate of the house almost at the same time. Amma's throat was dry with fear and panic. Enter the house and drink a glass of water. Amu asked Daddy, Amma, you never looked back to see if I was with you. I was scared to death. Daddy was surprised and said, Hey, what are you talking about? You were with me. I don't have a good back. I could feel you coming. Amu was surprised when Dada heard this. He may not have noticed that grandmother was the star of prayer, but Amma's body was breaking down from the inside. He was surprised by his physical condition. It seemed that someone had absorbed all the energy in his body. Home. Soon after returning, Mother developed a severe fever. The intensity of the fever was so high that Amr shivered with cold knocks. A thermometer showed a fever of 103 degrees Celsius. Others, in Daddy's house, put jalpati on Amma's head. He wiped his body with cold water, but nothing worked. The doctor was shown. Medicines were administered. However, there is no name to reduce the fever. No medicine is working in the body. Mom had this terrible fever for 3 consecutive days. At the end of these 3 days, Amu had a strange and terrifying dream while half conscious with fever, which turned out to be real, or imagination makes sense of it. He saw her lying in a hospital bed, a toddler in his arms. Mom was very happy looking at that child. Uda's maternal heart was filled with joy. Just then, out of nowhere, a dwarf or a woman of very small stature appeared there. The woman's hair was blonde and very messy. His face could not be seen completely because of his hair. The face was covered with hair. The strange woman came to the mother and tried to snatch the child from her lap. At first, Mom didn't understand that this was it. Why did the woman climb over her child? He thought maybe the woman was trying to caress the baby, but within moments the woman's behavior became aggressive. He wanted to snatch the child from the mother's lap by force. Amu was trying to push him back with all her might, but the dwarf woman kept coming back and fighting to take the child away. Amu started screaming in that half-sleepy waking state or fever. Everyone in the house heard his scream, came running. Mother's body was wet with sweat. Eyes and face are red with fear. She kept muttering, my baby is trying to take my baby. I won't take it. Everyone in the house, especially father, tried to calm down mother. They said, which child are you talking about? We have no children yet. You are sick with fever. At that time, everyone took this mental state of mother as delirium of fever. They thought the brain might be affected in this way due to high fever. He is seeing strange things. Mother, after 3 days, the fever has come down a bit, but the memory of that golden-haired woman did not disappear from Amma's mind. Mom kept saying, I saw it with my own eyes, and it wasn't a dream. That woman really came, but no one in the house paid attention to his words. All showed agreement. If he really came, then where is the child whom he wants to take? You don't have a child yet. Mom became silent, but the fear remained in the mind. With the passage of time, the effect of that incident was reduced a little. After 3 months, Mom gave the good news to Dad. A new guest is coming to their house. Complete with this news, the family was filled with joy. Grandparents are all happy. Time began to pass. The first few months of pregnancy went well. No significant problems occurred. Everyone thought that the bad times behind may have passed, but the problem returned again in the 6th month. One day, late at night, Amu suddenly woke up full of energy. The chest was jumping with fear. The entire room is then plunged into darkness, but through the window of the house, which opened towards the road or the street. The light of the lamppost outside was coming in. He saw that he was bleeding. He saw the little blonde-haired woman in white dress leaning on my lap. His golden hair fell into my bosom, and some of those hairs are touching my little body. Now Mom saw the woman's face clearly. His skin color was very pale white, but it is not the color of a living person, but bluish white, like a dead body in a morgue, just like a corpse kept in ice for a long time. Until now, Amu had only seen him as a shadow or from behind, but this is today. First he saw her face to face. Amu realized that this was the woman who had been scaring her for so long. He wanted to scream for nurses or doctors. He wanted to say that they should remove that woman from me. But as always, no sound came out of Amu's throat. Just at that moment, the door of the cabin opened and Dad entered. As Dad moved closer to my cot, Mom saw the woman slowly vanishing into thin air. In the blink of an eye, he dimmed and disappeared completely. Amu felt very helpless and wept bitterly. Dad came and asked, "What happened? Why are you crying?" Mom told everything to Dad, but Father was annoyed this time too. He said, "You start again? Noah has seen so many people, nurses and doctors here. You see, all sisters are wrong. Take medicine and sleep." Mom then desperately asked a woman next door and a duty nurse, "Have you seen a woman with golden hair next to my baby's bed?" They all shook their heads in surprise and said, "No. You and your baby have been alone here for a long time. No one else came." Mom was silent then. He realized that he had to fight this battle alone. No one can be trusted. From the time I was born till I was 6 months old, Amu would sometimes see that shadow figure around me, sometimes blurry, sometimes clear. He was always in fear. An old woman in our neighborhood who understood a little about these things advised my mother to never leave the baby alone. Keep something like an iron knife or a nail cutter next to the baby's pillow, and if possible, get an amulet from a master. Hearing this, the imam of the mosque brought an amulet or protection charm and put it on my neck. The strange thing is that after teaching that talisman, all the occurrences stopped as if by magic. When I was 17 years old, in those long 17 years, Mom never saw that woman or felt her presence again. Our life went on at a normal pace. Amu also completely forgot those old horrible memories. But Mom sometimes used to sigh while combing my golden hair, and said, "I don't know why your golden hair is spread out like a bun." My chest trembled when I saw it. My beauty was beautiful. Everywhere I went, people stared at me. Many relatives or acquaintances preferred me as their son's wife. But the problem was that after I turned 17, whenever a marriage proposal or marriage was discussed, my body would get weirdly bad. Not a slight fever or headache. I used to fall into bed. Doctors could not catch any disease. I didn't even have the strength to get out of bed. And right now I started to feel that presence again. I felt someone was always with me. I would feel someone's heavy, hot breath on my neck or back. Sometimes in my sleep it felt like someone was cutting my hair very gently, touching my forehead. I opened my eyes and looked. No one. I thought maybe Mom had come, but when I asked my mother, she was surprised and said, "No, I didn't come." My physical and mental condition started to deteriorate day by day. Had a headache all the time. It was as if someone was draining the vitality from within the body. I'm always tired. He was depressed. It was in this situation that a very good marriage proposal came for me. Mom and Dad loved everything about the boy and the boy's family. They started talking in a kind of way. On the day of my engagement or ring exchange, my body started to feel very bad from the morning. I am burning with fever when the guests come home in the evening. My chest was pounding so hard, it felt like my heart would burst out of my collarbone. I was restless, sometimes drinking water, sometimes lying down, sitting up again. I was not getting any peace. As the night deepened, my pain increased. That night I saw another shadow with my own shadow for the first time. My shadow on the floor was accompanied by the shadow of a small figure wherever I went. I was forced to dress up and sit in the drawing room with that sick body. I felt like this engagement or ring exchange ceremony was a huge burden for me. Everyone's laughter and joy was unbearable for me. Finally, somehow I got the ring, but I didn't know what terrible suffering awaited me in my life after wearing it. I felt very hot where I was sitting. It felt as if the air around me was getting heavy. With this, all the strange noises in the ears are added. All the time it felt like someone was blowing a whistle, or a whistle in the ear, sometimes speaking in a whisper. I was shown to the doctor and took a lot of medicine, but to no avail. I was tired of running to doctors. The point was very clear. Whenever there was talk of my marriage, I was hit with a blow that not only hurt me physically, rather it would have broken that relationship. That invisible shadow or genie didn't want to let me be someone else. Mom and Dad repeatedly explained, listen to the doctor will not cure the disease. Let's show the good scholar or master. But Abu was a rational man. Grandmother's influence on him was strong. Grandmother used to say, stop these gossips, pray and ask God for help. Don't lose your faith by going to Oja Vaidya. Grandma was right, but he did not want to understand that our problem was not normal. No one but the only sufferers will understand the extent of the pain we were going through. Amu would stand in prayer and cry to Allah and pray, "Oh Allah, what my daughter is seeing, at least show her father a message, then he will believe that we are not crazy." What happened a few days later? A very close friend of my father lived in Jessore. His daughter's marriage is fixed. All our families were invited there. We three, I, mother and father, left for Jessore by car. The journey was quite long. The more the car moved, the more my chest grew. An unknown fear was consuming me. It was evening when we reached Jessore. The road from the main road to the friend's house was unpaved. Dirt road, dense vegetation on both sides. The road is quite deserted. In the light of our car's headlights, I saw a woman walking from the left side of the road. I lay in the back seat exhausted. Mom was suddenly startled and whispered, "That's a man." The back of that woman is not exactly like that shadow. Our car came to a screeching halt before Amma finished speaking. The strange thing is that the woman who was walking on the side of the road stopped at the exact spot where the car stopped. Abu was quite surprised when the car and the woman stopped at the same time. I sat up after shaking a little. I looked out of the window with fear. I became hemoptysis. The same golden hair hangs in front of the face. The woman in white is now standing right in front of our car. I don't know if you will believe it. Even though he was with me for so long, I never saw his face clearly. His face was still covered with hair. Apu looked annoyed. He was thinking that it might be an ordinary woman of the village. He said to his mother, "Who is this woman? Standing in the middle of the road like this? Why is there?" Dad tried to start the car, but the engine didn't make any sound. Just then, the woman slowly approached the driver's seat window of our car. Abu took him down from the window to ask him something. As soon as the glass was put down, a rotten smell wafted over. The woman stuck her head through the window into the car. Her golden hair touched her father's shoulders. She pointed at me with her long bones and pointed with her fingers, looked at my father and said, "Now is the time to take her. Keep him ready, Bachan." Amu was sitting on the back seat and was screaming in fear. No sound came out of my throat. It felt like someone was holding my throat. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. The woman then gave a big smile and poked his head out of the car and disappeared into thin air as he walked in front of the three of us. My father probably wouldn't have cared if the woman hadn't told me my full name just before leaving. Father's condition was worth watching. His eyes are raised in his forehead. The body will be wet with sweat. His hands were shaking on the steering wheel. Mother then jumped on father and cried and said, "Now you are at peace. How many times have I told you if you heard it with your own ears and saw it? He will take my daughter now." Amma's tears in this impossible scene that happened in front of my eyes shattered all my father's disbelief. He realized that what we were saying so far was not a mental illness or a mistake in the mind. We somehow arrived at the wedding ceremony that night, but our mental condition was disturbed. I am the woman in the complete marriage house. I could see sometimes behind the stage, sometimes standing next to the gate. He looks at me and smiles, whispering in my ear. I used to sit with my hands over my ears in fear. On the way back, new torture started on me inside the car. Dad was sitting on the driving seat talking on the phone, and the shadow of that devil seemed to be sitting in the back seat. Suddenly, someone was holding my bird fingers and twisting them upside down. Tears were coming to my eyes in pain, but father should not be afraid and make an accident. I could not even cry because of that fear. He sometimes holds my hair, pulling, sometimes rubbing my neck. I tried to recite the surah in my heart, but believe me, I was speechless. I could not even pronounce Bismillah. Returning to Dhaka, Abu found a great master. We went to him without delay. That lord became serious after seeing me. Assalamu alaikum. Once again I welcome you all. I am Sadiq. I hope you are all well, and you are in good company. I am also fine and I am in good company. Thursday night is quite busy with Kato, because there is no office the next day. And although Thursday is a bit tiresome, this day is the best. Because Friday, Saturday, i.e. Saturday is also closed for many people. And that time we come back with Learn English with Sadiq. Hope you liked today's episode. If you like it, write it in the comment section. And if you don't like it, write it down. All the events of 2026 will be like yours. And that's why it's very important for me to give your opinion in the comment section. I am leaving today. Talk again. Until then, everyone stay well, stay healthy, stay with English, learn with Sadiq.